Hello everyone, David here. In 2006, MagSafe was unveiled as a power connector for Apple computers that held itself in place with a magnetic connection, one that was weak enough to simply pop out if you walked into the cable. And this was a godsend at the time. It meant that we no longer threw our laptops across the room, probably doing some damage if we accidentally tugged on the power lead. It also felt really cool when you plugged it in and it just magneted into place. Although MagSafe for laptops lives on in this current form in newer MacBooks, the term also got co-opted in 2020 to refer to the magnetic ring connections on the iPhone 12, which let you snap the phone onto wireless chargers for power, and also connect accessories like wallets. It was partly what convinced me to get an iPhone 12 back then, and I used it for years with a kickstand wallet, constantly marvelling at how versatile this little device was. I broke out of the Apple walled garden last year, but I have to admit I was missing those dreamy days of magnetic mischief until I realised there are hundreds, if not thousands, of magnetic accessories for Android. So when I recently bought the Galaxy S24 Ultra, I bought it with this Mous super thin cover which has MagSafe built right into it. So this is the Mous super thin magnetic phone cover for the Galaxy S24, and yeah, it's about £35 on Amazon, and the actual magnets are in the perfect place for charging it wirelessly as well. It's worked on every MagSafe charger I've tried, and what I really like about this case, apart from the build quality, which in general is just good, it's a really nice material, kind of smooth but grippy. I really like that it brings the back of the phone flush. So whereas you usually have a bit of wobble with a phone with a massive camera bump nowadays, it means that there's no wobble anymore because it's made this all perfectly flat. And what I really like is that if you get something like the official Apple MagSafe charger, the extendable battery, this snaps on and works. It actually charges an Android phone, which seems kind of quite perverse, but quite convenient as well. That doesn't happen with a lot of Android phones because sometimes even a magnetic cover doesn't allow enough room for a squared off accessory to fit, but this one does. I should mention this video is not sponsored by Mous, Samsung or anyone. I bought all of these products with my own money and these opinions are completely my own. So I'm not shilling for anyone, I just find things I like and get excited and want to talk about them. So I'd like to show you some of the applications for MagSafe, or perhaps we should just call it magnetic accessories, for Android phones. A quick search on Amazon or AliExpress will show you if you can get a magnetic case for your phone, and if you have a popular model, the chances are good. There are usually quite a few different variants, so make sure you end up with the magnetic version in your basket. And by the way, AliExpress is pretty bad when it comes to product descriptions. You might want to get a recommendation from someone, like on Reddit, I don't know, to ensure your case truly is carbon fiber or has whatever selling points they're making. The first category of accessories, which I think is super handy, is some kind of kickstand. You can get fold-out legs or rings, but I prefer to combine this with a wallet so I can hold a couple of essential cards and my emergency tenner, of course. The MOFT wallets are particularly good. They're durable, have a strong magnetic connection, and let you stand up your phone in portrait or landscape positions, and even a floating position, which I just never use because it looks too unstable. Getting this tiny stick-on wallet finally let me leave the house without my much bigger wallet, which was a relief to my jean pockets. There's a minor downside, which is that the wallet slightly covers the 5x zoom camera, so I have to shift it out of the way if I'm using the zoom mode. And sometimes the S24 S Pen is less responsive if I use it with the wallet attached. Again, it's fine if I shift it out of the way, so it's an issue with the wallet rather than the case, but still a little annoying. Fortunately, it doesn't interfere with NFC payments, so I can still just whip out the phone when I want to pay for my groceries, although in that case it may be easier to use the watch, especially if you have a Nectar or Tesco Club card ready to go in the same wallet app. Secondly, chargers. It really felt like a step into the future when instead of groping around for cables in the dark, I could snap my phone onto a stylish stand at night and it magically floated in midair, not just telling me the time like some freaky portable bedside clock, but also charging up, ready for the next day. It also meant grabbing and replacing it in the middle of the night to check a message was a much more feasible affair. Here are a few of my favourite models. Here's a really great charger for travelling. So it folds up really compact and with no wasted space, and very square, so it usually fits well in the bottom of a rucksack or something like that. USB-C connection. Once that is plugged in, you can unfold it. And then there's just enough space to charge a phone. This is the model that charges a Galaxy watch, so that can fit in on the back. And then you've just got enough space left over to charge some earbuds, like AirPads. And then this becomes an extremely compact bedside charger. And yeah, that's great for traveling. So here's a charger which I think is particularly cool, and it's the main one on my bedside table right now. It has a USB-C input for providing it power, but you can also daisy chain out another USB-A device if you have some other charger that you need to plug in, like a shaver or razor or something like that. And of course, then it will charge up your phone and your watch and maybe some earbuds, something like that, and it will tell you what it's charging down here, which is quite nice. It also has a light built into it, which is surprisingly bright in the middle of the night when it's otherwise very dark. The really cool thing about this charger though is that it will charge a Galaxy watch, but also an Apple Watch. So no matter what kind of configuration of devices you have, it will charge them all up, which is really cool. There's obviously some magnetic trickery going on here because you can hear it really click when you put a watch on, and it's obviously configuring itself internally so that it can put the magnets or the charging coil or something in the right place to make the connection. But yeah, apart from that, it works really well. I had to modify mine because this part of the charger was too square, so I cut a bit off with a Stanley knife. I don't really recommend you doing that. Maybe it's best to wait for a newer model where this part of the charger is more rounded. It's something I've recommended to the manufacturers. But yeah, it was just slightly too big to mount a phone with a camera bump. It interfered there and it wasn't secure. But if you have a case where that's all rounded off and flush, then that's not a problem. It will go on even with the same model as this, which has a square base charger here. So yeah, there you go. This charger is very convenient and I recommend it if you can find it. I'll leave a link to it in the description of the video. Currently, it's not a referred link or anything. I'm just doing this for convenience and completeness. And then really, the world is your oyster. I also have a MagSafe charger in the car, so it holds my phone in place and charges it without me having to fiddle with the clip every time I go for a drive. There are accessories for gaming to attach to a controller, and I'm also experimenting with building some kind of camera rig using a magnetic puck with a tripod screw. Could make for a very convenient YouTube setup. So what do you think? Is the world going magnetic, or is this an Apple versus Samsung lawsuit just waiting to happen? I'd love to know if you've found some handy magnetic accessories for your non-Apple phone, or if you think there's something I should try as a fellow nerd, developer, and tinkerer. Okay, there you go, that's the end of the video. I hope you found it useful or at least entertaining in some way. If you did, then leave me a like, and you can help me out by subscribing to my channel as well. Okay, see you next time.